Hey everybody, Hunk Papa Chef here. Today we're going to make a delicious hearty hamburger stew. Let's get started. Okay, for this dish we're going to use a pound of ground beef or ground turkey, 1/2 of a large onion that we're going to chop. We want about 9 or 10 okra pods and 1 cup of frozen corn. Okay, for our canned goods we want 1 can of diced tomatoes, also a small can of tomato sauce, and then 1 can of butter beans. We're going to use about 1 to 2 teaspoons of chili powder, depending on how hot you like it, and then 1/2 teaspoon each of basil, oregano, and rosemary, and about 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil for frying up our onions and okra. And lastly, we want about 1/2 teaspoon of salt and some freshly ground pepper. Okay, first we're going to peel and chop our 1/2 of a large onion. Next we're going to take our okra pods and cut the tail off and the tip and just cut them into rings. Just like that. So to a hot skillet, we want to add our ground turkey or ground beef, whatever you're using. Okay, our meat is browned nicely. It takes about 3 minutes. If there's a lot of liquid, you want to drain it out of the pan. Otherwise, we're going to set it aside. In a large pot, we want to heat up about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And we're going to add our onions. We're going to saute these on medium to high heat, keeping after them. We just want them to soften up, but not brown. So the onions have been sauteing for about 3 minutes, and now we're going to add our okra. Now okra has a thick, almost slimy liquid inside, but don't let that throw you. All that will cook out. The okra actually binds the onions and the meat together real well. We're going to add the meat next. We want to saute the okra with the onions for another 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, now we're going to add our ground meat to the pot and give that a good stir up. Alright, now we're going to add our corn, our dry ingredients, the chili powder, rosemary, basil, and oregano. We're going to add our salt, I just eyeball it, and some pepper, and we're going to stir that up. Now the canned tomatoes and tomato sauce, and of course our butter beans, liquid and all, goes right in. And now we want to carefully fold all this together. We don't really want to break up those beans too much. And we're going to lower the flame down to about medium heat and let this come up to temperature. Yummy. Look how colorful that is. So what we're going to do now is lower the heat to simmer. Place a lid on there. And we're going to let it simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour. Let all those flavors blend together. Now our stew is done. So we're going to serve it up. Yummy. Get a nice portion there. And there we have it, folks. A beautiful dish of a hearty hamburger stew with okra, corn, and butter beans.